Hi everybody, welcome to another video, this time of me preparing a motorcycle tank, one of my motorcycle tanks, for primer, obviously then paint and top coat. So I've speeded this up, it's 4 times normal speed and it's still about a 16-17 minute video, so it will give you an idea of how long it can take. I also have just spent about another hour just finishing it off. There's a few little bits that are a bit rough or I hadn't quite got to, and especially inside the tank where the fuel tap is, the fuel cap is. There was a little bit of rust around the top. I bought this tank about 10-12 years ago. I can't even remember where from. I think it was eBay, something like that. It's for a DR350, which I've got a DR350, and the idea has always been to do it up at some time. So I bought a spare tank so that I could start doing that while I was still using the bike effectively, and I've never done anything with it. So I've got it off the shelf and decided to crack on and give it a go. This will be the first video in basically preparation. I'll do another one for priming, which obviously won't be anywhere near as long, and then a top coat, and a base coat and then a top coat. I'm not sure how long it'll be before the base coat and top coat, because I'm not sure what colour to do it. The bike at the moment is white and is classified by the vehicle authorities as white, but I rather fancy yellow, so I'm going to do this, prime it in a white primer, and then maybe I'll do it yellow or white. I'm not sure, it'll be one of those two colours I think. Anyway, so to the preparation. So first I'm just cleaning it over, just to get rid of any oily rubbish or anything like that that's about. There's been some oil in the tank, which is how I stored it to stop it rusting inside. But you can, well, I don't know if you can see actually, but where I am now, where my hand is now, that flat area there had loads of small rust spots, and the thickness of the paint that the manufacturer put on was, microscopic. I mean, none of that could be seen when the tank's on the bike. Obviously you don't see any of that, so the idea is, I guess, just to give it a very thin coating just to protect it, but I mean, it's not really enough, and certainly I will do more than that, but it's just a question for them, I suppose, of making it as fast and relatively cheap as they can. So the less time they spend doing something, the less they spend on paint, etc., the better. So literally just rubbing it down at the moment on the inside with a small air DA sander. I think it's 2-inch, that one. I got a 3-inch pack for it, but that's a 2-inch one. It was only a cheap one off eBay. It was about £22, which is about, at the moment, about $30 US, or about 27 euros, something like that. And I'm just going around doing what I can. There's various rust spots on it. I can't remember it being that rusty when I got it, but I did put some oil on the outside of the tank, and as I say, on the inside of the tank. But I'm guessing that it's just weathered. I mean, it hasn't been outside; it's been inside a garage. But I guess over that time the oil on the outside has just effectively come off in some way. I don't know. But it has rusted slightly, or maybe I just missed a few bits. But it's along the seams where the tank is joined. You've effectively got like an inner and an outer shell, and the part at the bottom, near where that grinder is now, that part there is where the seam is, and there's some patches of rust, just literally where I'm going now. There, that seam there. There's some patches of rust, so I'm just, it's not in bad condition really, the tank. If it was really bad, then you would either shot blast it or certainly put some paint stripper on it, but it really isn't that bad. So I'm literally doing as much as I can to preserve how it was, just with some new paint on it. But it's, you know, the paint that's on there is staying on well. What you can't notice, maybe you can later on in the video actually, because I run my finger across it, but there should be, and there wasn't when I got the tank, there should be some decals on the outside, some DR, I think it says Dual Sport, DR Dual Sport, some graphics along each side of the tank, left and right hand side of the tank, and whoever had it before has taken them off. And obviously at the factory the tank is painted, the graphic is put on, and then the top coat, the clear coat, is put on. So where the stickers have been taken off, you ended up effectively with some paint which was lower than where the top coat was. So you had a ridge each side where the decal was going up. If you can understand me, if you run your finger across it, you would go along the bare paint up onto the top coat. So you'll see a bit later when I get to it. I'm literally I just sand the whole thing down, and it just gets really flat. So it needed doing from that point of view as far as the sides go. But really all I'm doing is just getting rid of any rust I can see. Now I always thought I haven't done many videos anyway, but I thought, well, I'll do a few, but I always thought I would never do a video on preparation, because it is one of the most boringest things you could possibly do. I find it boring anyway, but it is completely necessary. So you do have to do it, and there's no two ways about that really. But anyway, so I'm using a Fein multitool at the moment, which is really handy for anything that's remotely out the way, awkward to get to, nooks and crannies, as we say in the UK. And it really does get in there well. The downside is you end up using just the little edges of the pad, and it doesn't last long. So, but I mean, the pads aren't that expensive. I get those off eBay at about £12, or about $16 US, 14 euros for 100, just from various sellers on eBay and things. So it's not expensive. I'm doing most of it with 80 grit, simply because I want it to be quite relatively rough for the primer to adhere to. So most of it's been done in 80 grit. There's a couple of bits that was slightly finer. I've got a couple of 120 sheets there, but none of it's particularly fine, because I'd use the finer stuff at the stage of sanding the primer. So this is just to give the primer good adhesion, as good as possible anyway, without going back to bare metal. Now I'm going to use a normal primer. I say normal, not an etched primer, because there's not that much bare metal about. And the primer I use, which is a U-Pol, I can't even remember now, I think it's a 2025. I think it's 2025. Adheres really well to bare metal and to aluminium. So this is a steel tank. So I've no hesitation of doing it on a tank that's some metal is shown, because it adheres absolutely fine. It's a high build primer, so hopefully any little imperfections it will feel, and then when I sand it should give a nice smooth flat finish. Most of the bits you can see me doing you don't actually see. The only bits you see are the two side parts of the tank, left and right, where you're effectively your knees or your thighs, your inner thighs would go. The parts around where you can see me doing, or where my left hand is, that they've got two light catches, which makes this tank more awkward than most to repair, because those two little catches effectively are a plastic side panel that slides in and then screws. There's a little screw hole underneath in the tank, and that holds the plastic on, and it effectively makes the tank look as if it's probably twice the size it is, because it comes down by about another 4 or 5 inches, something like that. So it's 125 mil or so for people that are fully metric. So you know, a lot of this isn't absolutely necessary, but you know, I don't lumps of primer falling off really. So I'm just giving it as good a preparation as possible to give it a good key before obviously the top coat and base coat and top coat, getting the right around. Yeah, so hopefully when this is done, you'll be able to see a bit more of the metal. I mean, most of the dramatic changes happens when you use the bigger sanders, I guess. But yeah, as I say, I didn't know whether I was actually going to bother doing a little video of this, because it is quite boring. But at least speeding it up to 4 times makes the boredom last not so long, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah. So the top part, there's some rust. You can see them. There's some rust around the top on the inside, which is what I'm doing there. But there's also on the outside, so on the actual paint, and you can see them there. They're just poking up mainly at the back. So you know, it's sort of like the rider side of the tank. But yeah, it takes a little while to get all this out, but the actual inside of the tank was absolutely fine. So it was just that centre part, and that centre part there where the cap goes, I've literally just done about another 15 minutes with a Dremel, just a Dremel, a Dremel and an extension, so the thin extension goes inside, and then you can just go round the rim of where the cap sits and remove any rust. It's not going to be painted, it just removes the rust, because once the tank's in use with petrol in it, etc, it shouldn't rust that much, as obviously the level's kept up every now and again, so that it goes all the way up and not completely dry all the time. So yeah, we're just finishing off around the rim where the cap goes, and then I'll be getting out the big, I say big, it's a 6-inch EA sander, which really cuts the time down of what you can do. But with a motorcycle tank, unlike a panel of a car or anything that's sort of like a reasonably big flat surface, you can get a DA on it, or even do it by hand, and you can get some good strokes going, and really it doesn't take that long to do it to a relatively fine level. Bear in mind that most of that will be seen, whereas with a motorcycle tank most of it won't be seen. Most of the stuff you do won't be seen. So it is really finicky, and this one is a really finicky tank because of those two like hooks effectively either side, where those tank extenders or plastic tank extenders, so they don't really extend the tank, it just looks like the tank is bigger, go on. So with those parts, it really was quite intricate, and that little fine sander is really handy because of the pointed end. It can actually get underneath where the hooks are and just rough it up. I mean, there was no rust under there as far as I could see, although I have just now done a bit more, and I did find a little bit in there, so I'd done that with a Dremel. So there's probably about another half an hour's work after this video's finished that I've done to get it more ready for priming, and then I'll just degrease it again. I've just flushed the tank out so that there's nothing in there. I'll wait for that to dry inside for a few days, and then I'll degrease it, and we'll go from there. We'll do a bit of masking, not much masking to do, and then I'll get the primer ready and gone. So you can see this DA sander works a treat, and that where you see me putting my thumb across is the where the two different levels were, where the decals were below. They effectively went across the centre, and it just give it effectively 2 stages. So I'm just getting all that down so that it's nice and flat, ready for the priming. But the big DA sander, or I say big, as I say 6-inch DA sander, really does take it off. But those side parts really are the only parts you can use it on. That's just a little rust spot there I noticed. So I just took it off with the little fine tool. Yeah, so those side bits and a few other bits are about the only bits you can use it for, which is a shame, but that's the nature of the beast, I suppose. The tanks are quite intricate and they do take some time, especially when, as I've said before, not much of it actually shows. So I hope you've enjoyed the video as much as you can enjoy a preparation video, but at least it shows you a little bit of what I do without it taking too long. I mean, it's a 16-minute video, so if you're still here at the end watching this, then hats off to you, because you've done really well, because I've found it reasonably okay to narrate it and to fill in the time. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and maybe we'll see you again. Cheers, bye bye.